Fish room update? Babies?
What's up, guys? My name is Jared, and this is My Tiny Fish Room. Welcome to another episode of Fish Room Updates. Let's go. Alright guys, today's episode, we're going to be looking at why our tank has had such an increase of aggression. We've noticed it over the last several days, couldn't figure out what was going on. Even had one of our big OBs get into a little bit of a fight and injure his eye. We've since been able to heal it. He's doing fine. He's actually doing great. He's a little bit calmer now after he got beat up, but that's besides the point. What we found in the 125 gallon is right here. We used to keep a relatively big piece of driftwood, and that driftwood was the source of all the aggression. We found one of the convicts had laid a ton of eggs all over that piece of driftwood, so the male was just chasing everybody around the tank. There wasn't enough room for them to be able to breed and lay fry comfortably, so naturally I did what any good fish keeper would do, and we created a little 20-gallon breeder tank. Today we came to the fish room to do our morning routine, and we found that we have a breeding pair of convicts. So in an effort to keep the fry alive, we're going to move those fish into a 20-gallon tank to let them finish out the breeding process and let the fry hatch. So without further ado, all right guys, you don't have to move so fast, Bubba. You just stay right there and you just kind of lean the camera up and down, okay? Whatever's comfortable. So I have a new cameraman today. Crashton's behind the camera helping Dad out. So what we're going to do is we're going to steal some water from right here out of our 125 gallon, and we're going to load up this 20 gallon. All right, so there's our 20 gallon full of water. We just siphoned some water out using the hose. And then right here, you guys can see now, we installed a new 20 gallon tank, and we're gonna snatch up the fish, and we're gonna snatch up their piece of driftwood, and then we'll get them in the tank, get them comfortable, and then we can come back and throw in our filter and whatnot. Maybe we need to hit the pet store. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. But let me get a few things situated, and then we'll bring you guys back so you guys can see us pulling the fish and the driftwood and getting this bottom tank ready for them to have their fry. Okay. So we had a just kidding. We got a sponge filter right here. We'll be running with an aerator. Maybe. I accidentally disconnected the hose. Oh man, I'm just dropping everything. That water temp feels chilly. Okay, get that back on. I'm just gonna let that set right there in the corner. This is taken out of Frank's tank. He's got way more filtration than he needs. What is this? Okay, so that takes care of some filtration. Now ambient room temperature should be good for water temp because it's not going to be a lot of moving water. Okay. Heaters are at 77 degrees. I mean, the tank's at 77 degrees, so we're gonna have to increase that temperature just a hair. Make sure our fish are not getting too cold. But like I said, let's get this, get these fish moved, because that's going to be a task, I think. There's our fish out. I don't really want to grab their log with something other than my hands, because I want it to don't want to expose those eggs for very long. But then we're going to drop this right down in here for them. She should be able to find that. And we'll plug in a light so we can see what is going on. I'll actually move this over here for her, and then hopefully she'll find she'll either find her fry or she'll forget that they exist. And we'll pull the fish back out and let the fry do their own thing. But yeah, that will be the new tank for this breeding pair of convicts. I think she's looking around. She seems a bit nervous, but her fry are right there. They're nice and safe, a secure area to continue their breeding process. They have their driftwood, which has all their eggs on them right there. So yeah, now we have breeding convicts, which who knows? Maybe we'll breed some fish, raise them out, and sell them or give them away. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys like convicts. I love convicts. They're super cool little fish. And we'll keep you guys posted. Oh, looky there. Somebody found their nest. She's starting to get comfy. She found her eggs for our convict. And if you see there, I don't know if the camera's going to catch it or not, but her eggs are all over that piece of driftwood. So we moved the female into here as well as the male. He's hiding down there. I don't know, you can see him through the reflection on the bottom. But yeah, so apparently we're gonna have some convict babies, and I don't know what the heck to do with them, so we'll have to figure that out. They might end up just at Dave's place. We'll give them to the fish store, and the fish store, Valley Pets, will make sure that they get a good home, and then it's a good deal for everybody. So that's one update. Other than that, during the high levels of aggression, we did have to move Carl out of this tank. And Carl was our German blue ram, and Carl is doing okay. He's with the guppies. Let's go see Carl. Where you at, Carl? Carl. He's always hiding in them trees. Where the heck is Carl? There's not a whole lot of stuff in there. Okay, bad news, guys. I'm not gonna put it on camera, but Carl unfortunately did not survive the overaggression in the tank, which is 100% my fault. I should have taken him out sooner, and we're gonna have to address that real quick. So, you guys give me a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, rest in peace, Carl. That's one of the unfortunate things about fish keeping. And I'm gonna be dreadfully honest with you guys, you know what I mean? Like, I am no expert, I say that all the time, but I make mistakes. And one of my mistakes cost one of my fish their life. So we need to do better. We can do better, we should do better, we will do better. The fish are the priority, and so I'm super bummed out about Carl, to be honest, man. It seems so insignificant to lose a small fish, but every one of them is important to me, so that sucked. So with that being said, let's move on and make sure all the rest of our fish are in good shape. We are going to do some feeding right now. It's actually breakfast time. Let me grab a tripod so I can put you guys on a tripod and we can get these guys fed. Alright, so the first tank I always feed when I come in here. And I always come in and I turn on the lights and I let the room sit for an hour or so, let all my fish wake up, get ready to go for the day. Because oftentimes I found out that if I feed them right when I wake up, or right when they wake up, they're never really that hungry. They're always kind of like dazed. So I feel like it's better to feed them after they've had their coffee, so to speak, after I've had my coffee. So this is gonna get me a lot of hate in the comments, I'm sure, because my fish absolutely love fish flake. So this is part of their diet, right? They really like pellets, is also part of their diet. So my plecos love this stuff. So this stuff gets thrown in and there'll be, I don't know, 10 or 12 pellets that we'll put on the top of the water, because Shirley eats all of it. We gotta make sure there's some for the plecos. So first thing I like to do to get all my smaller fish in this 125 gallon tank is the fish flake. So we're gonna drop in some flake and see if anybody's hungry. A little bit of fish flake. And I try and feed everybody else first and the plecos last. Do some pellets. And then last but not least for our plecos, you can already see one of them coming up right here. And then the big guy, he'll come out here shortly. Oh, there he is right there. He already knows the drill. Come on, Big Bubba. Breakfast time right here. Right here. Come on. I'll get you some of your pellets. There's my boy. Make sure you get you some pellets right there, buddy. My pleco likes to be hand fed. His name is Play-Doh. I've had him for a long time. He's very, very, very cool, very active little fish, and he's a freaking dinosaur. So he'll come up, he likes to be hand fed. I drop him some pellets and he sees me drop them and he comes running. Now everybody else subsequently will eat and eat off the bottom. Here in about a minute or two, you won't see any of that food at the bottom. It all gets cleaned up. I never feed enough that they get completely full, just to help them digest their food based on what I've read, especially because I don't purge throughout the week. I give them one purge day, and that's usually on Sunday. So I don't feed on Sundays, basically. But the rest of the week, they eat 3 small meals a day, just like me or you would, you know what I mean? So we're trying to keep it easy to digest and never feed them so much that they're just like bloated or something in the tank, which all comes with experience over time, how to feed the tank, which fish like what, and what diet to feed them. And I do give them a variety of stuff because we'll also feed bloodworms, and they love those too. They are very healthy, you know, growing like weeds, doing great in here. My Livingstoni has gotten so big. He was such a tiny fish when we got him. So were these OBs. Now they're huge. For reference, there's my hand. He's probably 5-6 inches or so. But yeah, so that's the 125 gallon tank is fed. Fish are happy. Let's move on to the next tank, which we're gonna move right over here. I don't know if I can get my camera to work. I have surgery this Thursday on my back, and I think today is Tuesday, so here soon we'll be all good to go. Now this tank looks a little foggy, so we might have to do a midweek water change on this guy. I know everybody's gonna say it's because you feed it fish flake, and it's really not. It's just I recently did some work in here, did a big water change, cleaned out some of the rock, and stirred up a bunch of stuff. So just takes a few days, a couple water changes to bring it back to that crystal clear water look that everybody likes to see. But in this tank, we're doing the same thing. We're going to feed them a little bit of fish flake, and we're going to crush it up for our little angelfish and our beta fish that's in there. And then I recently added 3 more pea puffers to this tank, and we have a clown placo in there, we have a bristlenose placo in there, and then we have 5 or 6 of the Cory catfish in there. Now I do add a small handful of sinking pellets because my catfish go crazy for them. Mostly the puffer fish do not eat anything other than snails in the tank, and they completely do not touch any other food. Now, some of the babies, there's 1 adult in here and 3 baby pea puffers. The babies will eat the bloodworms. They look like they're sucking on a giant piece of spaghetti. But the other fish will not. The adult, he just won't touch it. But there's our couple of angels getting them some breakfast. There's Ninja getting him some breakfast. Our Cory catfish are finding the sunken pellets, sifting through the snails. And then it's so, I mean, the pea puffers that I put in here are babies. I mean, they're smaller, or about the size of that snail right there in the center of the frame. So they're hard to find. And to be honest, I've only seen the clown placo twice since I put them in here. But you really got to have the expectation with those fish in a tank like this that you're not going to see them until they reach adulthood. Occasionally you'll see them when you're inside the tank doing maintenance. But other than that, it's very unlikely. You can see the pea puffer right back there. That's the adult. He's significantly larger. See, I was going to try and search for one of the babies, but they like to hide out in this jungle. And the few times I have seen them, I've seen them right down this corridor. So that's kind of where they've been hanging out, but I don't see either of them, or any of them I should say, at the moment. So that being said, we're going to move on to the next tank. This tank we're not going to feed though, because it's a weird tank. But as promised, here's an update on the recently done shrimp tank, where we put 6 Amano shrimp in here. We're attempting to aquascape. I'm going to use that term lightly because we planted the grass and we placed the rock, we put some moss, we got some pets in there, we got a little snail in there doing his thing. And the tank's doing great. We're starting to see a lot of grass growing. You can see the single blade there. You can see the long hair grass back there behind that filter. There's a couple strands of it. So we're starting to get there, slow and steady. All the shrimp are doing great. This is completely just a little mini shrimp paradise for them. As you can see, the water is very clear. This is all made with stuff from my backyard, minus that beautiful rock in the middle. Shout out to Valley Pets for hooking this up. And yeah, we've got so many seeds in there. There's stuff growing out of the filter. So that tank's coming along nicely. I don't feed that tank pretty much ever. Maybe once a week I'll pinch a small bit of flake in there. But yeah, shrimp have been mulching, growing. And shout out to somebody in the comments who pointed out that the shrimp will not breed unless it's brackish water, which I think it needs like a 1 or 1.2 on the salinity level. So that's something that we'll be doing in the future. And we'll be converting that tank over to a brackish tank so that way those shrimp can breed. Just because it would be cool to have a shrimp army. That's our goal there. All right, let's move on to our next tank. And this is gonna be our guppy breeding tank. And originally we were going to use this as feeders for Frank, but everybody's kind of fallen in love with the guppies. And it's gonna be hard to justify using them as food. What we really might do is start producing guppies for the pet store or something along those lines. Who knows? We've got a pretty unique blend going right now, but let's get these guys fed. Everybody gets water changes on Sundays. So every single tank at this point I swap out every Sunday, regardless if it looks great or if it doesn't. And there's mixed emotions about that on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, some people say you should only do it if the tank is telling you to. And some people say just stick to your routine and you never have to worry about anything. To be honest, mine just comes from paranoia. And things often happen that are out of your hands. So it's usually one of those things where, like, I better do it now in case something comes up and I can't do it later. And these guys just get fish flake. That's all we give them. And they go absolutely crazy for it. You can see all of them in there. There's so many fish in here. Like, probably at least 100 different fish. Just going crazy all the time. Making babies, having babies. All right, last but not least, for this feeding session anyways, I should say, because we're not going to be feeding Frank today. Today's not a day. Well, actually, no. Well, today's Tuesday. So, Frank, God, I can't remember. I'll have to look at my calendar. If I fed Frank yesterday, Frank is not getting fed today. If I did not feed Frank yesterday, you guys will see in the video, we'll go down to Valley Pets, we'll grab some goldfish for Frank and get Frank fed. Frank the tank! Frank is a spotted pike. He's so cool. I'll show you guys him in a second. So right here, there is a bunch of fish, right? We have Earl and Earl's goldfish. Plus, we have Yusuke. And we have our Placo in the corner. It's a little bit skittish. But same thing, Earl loves fish flake more than anything, and pellets. So we start off always by giving him some pellets, because I wish he would just eat more pellets. Wish all my fish would. It would make water changes easier, I agree. But see, he just doesn't even care whatsoever about the pellets. He's like, sort of interested, but not really. Maybe I'll grab one. Probably gonna spit it out. But then, Earl, do you want some fish flake? Is this what you want? Is this what you want? You want some fish flake? Of course you want some fish flake. Look at Earl go. He's like, give me the good stuff, Dad. Here you go, buddy. Come and get you soon. And Earl we'll go destroy Fish Flake. I'll put his box back. Probably get paranoid. Yep. As soon as you put his box back and there's nothing that can get between him and his food, he goes right for it. He's always worried you're going to stick a net in there and try and net him up. But these guys will eat and get their fill. Then the goldfish will come in and clean up all the rest. And the goldfish is a pure accident. You know, some folks really do not like the fact that there's goldfish in a tank with Oscars, but it is what it is. In my tiny fish room, there are no rules, just consequences. We're learning, we're trying, but we fail sometimes, that's for sure. The goldfish, I don't know what we're gonna do with them. At this point, my kids are pretty attached to them, so just be looking out for a backyard goldfish pond build or something along those lines. Or a second My Tiny Warehouse, maybe a bigger shed with more room to build more big tanks. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, that in a nutshell is us feeding our fish room. So you guys can see the grass is starting to grow inside the shrimp tank. We have new Convict babies. Whoa, that light is bright. So yeah, we are moving right along, making something out of nothing in our tiny fish room. We've got some pretty unique fish, just like Frank here that I'm about to show you. And I don't know a lot of people that have a spotted pike. And Frank's just a beautiful fish. He's got such a personality. He is a pure predator, a vicious predator. He just as soon as bite your finger off if you let him. But he's one of the more unique fish that we have. Frank, Earl, and one of my other fish are my favorites. So I have a soft spot for this Livingstoni over here. I just showed you guys a few minutes ago on film. But this guy right here, this is one of the coolest fish I own. I don't know why. I like him so much. But I've had him since he was a tiny little baby. And now he's getting pretty big. You know, I'd say he's starting to hit juvenile stages. And our Livingstoni does not have a name. So if you're watching this video, my ask or my question to you is, drop a comment and let me know what you think a good name for our Livingstoni should be. Whoever has the best comment, I will pin it. And we're just gonna go through and pick out our favorite one. Try and be funny, you know, try and be ironic. It's my tiny fish room, but we only have huge tanks, right? But drop a comment, let me know what you think we ought to name our Livingstoni. And whoever has the best comment, that's gonna be his name. Forever known as whatever the best comment is from this video. And we have other fish too that we may need help naming in the future. And if we're gonna build this channel, we might as well build it together. So, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. Oh yeah, I looked at the calendar, so we're not done in the fish room yet. We're going to head over to Valley Pets. We're going to grab Frank some goldfish. We're going to say hello to all of our friends at the fish store. And then we'll call it a wrap on this week's update for the fish room. Oh yeah, guys, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. You know, we're at 350, 360 subscribers. We need to get to 1,000 to be monetized. And that's really the goal, or else I don't know how long my wife's gonna let me continue doing what I'm doing. Some epic stuff in my brain that I'd like to put on this camera and show you guys. So please drop a comment and hit that subscribe button. Let's head over to Valley Pets and grab us some goldfish. Let's go! Woo! Made it to Valley Pets. Let's go. All right, as soon as I walk in, Milo says, check it out.
I just took the logs out.
Ooh.
He walked right past the terrarium. We just pimped out.
I didn't even see it. I got excited. Milo said, come check it out.
Well, with light, you kind of, oh man.
Look at all them greens, bro. Look how freaking...
The moss is no joke.
It looks so clean. It smells like straight up like earth. It just smells so good.
Yeah.
This one, we just put all the logs. These 2 logs were in there. Now I just put them in there.
Dude, the growth is so sweet. Check that out. What?
It's the mother log where all the moss started from that log.
From this one here?
Yeah, when we got that log 7, 8 years ago, bro, it was in a terrarium. It had like this much on it, maybe 2 50-cent size pieces. And then we just finally got the right conditions and bam.
Bro, it's like a straight up rainforest right here.
So pretty, dude.
That is so clean. And guys, those plants look fake, but they are not. Those are freaking legit.
Never thought it'd be our long-term project.
That is so clean, dude.
We had some hurdles. People don't know how to not touch my stuff.
All right, guys, I had to stop at McDonald's and get me something to eat. It's kind of a must when you drive down here because you just happen to pass by a McDonald's. Score. All right, guys, we made it back to the house. Let's get these fish in that tank and feed Frank. Let's go and grab my little bucket right there. Good bucket. Woo! Goldfish. Found them. I'm just gonna dump our goldfish into the net. Make sure we did not forget any. And Frank is anxiously waiting. Pay close attention because it happens fast. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap on today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed seeing the convicts getting moved, and hopefully we'll be able to produce some fry from that. The shrimp tank, our first attempt at aquascaping. Don't laugh too hard, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress. You know, like I said, we're learning. So, thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Please guys, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Look at Earl just showing off. Earl, I'm trying to film you, buddy. Come this way. Why you look so mad? Past your bedtime? Oh, now the camera's out. You're chilling out, huh? Like you put all his colors back to black for the most part. Like, oh, I'm on film. Let me just show you guys how cool I am. Early burly, everybody. I was trying to fight the glass. Early burly and the goldfish. It could be like a 70s band. There's the groupie. Just kidding. It's just kind of late right now in the fish room and shutting off Earl's lights, and he's always a character. Check out our warehouse right here. The whole entire series is right here. We're on episode, well, we've released up to episode 8 or on episode 9. Right here is what YouTube thinks you're gonna like next. Hit the subscribe button and we'll see you on the next video. Peace out.